First encounter with Jesus. I believe, in the fourth grade. It was at my old Spanish Pentecostal church. We had come back, or the student group had come back from their summer camp, and at the next Sunday service, when they had come back, they got all of the kids and all of the students to come up to the front, and they prayed over us, and they were worshiping and just praising, and we all kind of fell into it as well. We were holding on to each other and stuff, and I was kind of at the end of the row, but it just felt so genuine and real that it was impossible for me to not fall into that, even as a kid, not really understanding what was going on. But I think that was one of the strongest moments that I've encountered with the Holy Spirit. Some struggles I went through after that, actually. I was introduced to pornography at that age, at a very young age, and not understanding the consequences of that, I fell into it very heavily, and I started a pornography addiction at a very young age. And from then on, I think that was a root cause of being the type of person who, I was a people pleaser. I was constantly trying to fit in, appeal to people in the best way I could, and it just led to sadness. It was very much a hard coming up after that. I felt a lot of shame because my parents had finally explained what it was that I was going through, and the consequences of that was shame and putting myself down, low self-esteem. Throughout all of elementary, middle school, most of high school, it was hard trying to figure out who I was, understanding who I was and why I was here. Looking back, I know that God had his hand over me very much, in a very compassionate and merciful way, and he protected me from things that were even worse. In my walk with God, still having the desire to please people and wanting to find community and friends that I can trust and know that have my back in areas of my life, I started seeking community in church for young adults. And I asked a friend who was connected in a young adult community, and I asked her what it was about, and she sent me 2 links for small groups. And I joined a young adult one and one that's called Freedom. And I joined it thinking it was for young adults. And before I even go to any church services or anything, I go to this Freedom group, and it was very much a group of older guys. I was 19 at the time, and these guys were like 40s, 50s, and I felt out of place. But by the end of that night, I truly felt that's where God wanted me to be. And throughout that whole spring semester, I felt a change of heart. I felt that God softened it and guided my mind and my heart towards him. And by the end of, there's a Freedom Conference at the end where they allow baptisms and stuff. And I got baptized May 15th of 2022. And ever since, I've kind of just been on an uphill. I have led multiple small groups. I currently lead sports small groups. That's kind of my lane, where I feel the most comfortable, because it's something I love to do as well. And being able to include a devotional and include faith and God into sports is a beautiful thing. And I have seen so much change in people And that's kind of helped fuel me as well, kind of fill my cup, seeing that God can work in others as well in miraculous ways, and see the change that he can do on someone's heart and someone's mind. So I'm a strong believer in small groups and community strengthening your faith, because it's the right people that can build you up, and the right people that will help you build a strong foundation for your faith. So I am still very much included in my community and my small groups, and it's my favorite days of the week. Surrounding yourself with the right people is very important. Community is meant to strengthen your faith, strengthen your spirit, and I think that's one of the important reasons that we have church, that we have community. That's why God gave us those blessings. So yeah, I think the community is very, very important.